G'day guys, welcome to Ian's wonderful world of tree ferns. Today we're going to be addressing the number one question I get when I visit people's gardens here in the hills, and that is, can I relocate a tree fern? We're going to look at 4 types of tree ferns. The 2 most common, the rough tree fern and the soft or smooth tree fern, the slender tree fern, and also the austral king fern. Now the last 2 are quite rare here in the Dandenong Ranges, and this is why I want to show to them. The first is the austral king fern that I have 2 in my own garden, but just across the road over here there are 60 of these plants, which are quite rare for the Dandenong Ranges to have so many in one small area. And then we'll shoot down the road and take a look at the magnificent slender tree fern. It's going to be a very exciting day. Come along for the ride. So we're here in a wet, temperate rainforest, mountain ash forest. And I've heard there are, oh, there's one there. Slender tree fern. I've heard a lot about the slender tree ferns down here. We're not very far from my house, and I've never visited. Let's go see if we can find some more. Oh, there's one. Oh, hang on a sec. Let's go take a look at this guy. There it is. Now, I've got a feeling that this fern here is a skirted tree fern. I wasn't expecting to find a skirted tree fern today. I know they're about. Now the skirted tree fern is a sterile hybrid of the slender tree fern and the rough tree fern. They grow to about 8 meters high, and how you can tell the difference is that the fronds remain on the trunk and form a skirt. They also are a lot wider than the slender tree fern. Oh, here we go. There's one. Slender tree fern. Oh, look at this one. There's 2 there. Small one and a very tall one. Wow. So what's so special about the slender tree ferns? We have 2 here. They grow to about 20 meters in height. And although this one here was slightly smaller when we rocked up, there's good 15 feet of it runs along the ground to the edge of the creek. So at some time it's fallen over, but it's just continued to grow upwards. The slender tree fern likes full shade and moist wet gullies, which we have here. You can hear the creek right next to it. They grow to 20 metres high and may not become fertile for 80 years. Do you imagine that? And that's why the slender tree fern is classed as a threatened species here in Victoria. Very special tree. I have some a lot closer near me, 50 to 100 metres away, but they're very isolated and there's not too many of them. Wow. Absolutely incredible. So guys, we're across the road from my house. We're with an austral king fern, very special. Through here there's about 60 of them, as I said. Very rare and uncommon here for the Dandenong Ranges. At 1 metre of growth, they are approximately 200 to 300 years old. This guy here is around 150, 200 years old. It's quite wide, short and pudgy. They have multiple heads on them, and they prefer damp, moist, wet areas. Here we go. What have we got here? Is that a leech? Look at that. Bloody things. Oh, they're stuck on there. There we go. Leeches, hey? Great fun. I had one up on the inside of my mouth once. Let's not talk about it. Love the wet areas. Big heads on them, wide bases, long living. Awesome, awesome tree. They do grow to about 3 meters in height, although I've never seen one. I think that the tallest one here is around 1.5 meters. So at 1.5, you're looking at around 300, 400, 500 years old. So you can imagine at 3 meters in height how old these are. They'd be 1,000 years old. Absolutely amazing ferns. Now let's go back to the main subject at hand, which is relocating or transplanting a tree fern. There are 2 types of tree ferns that you will mainly have in your own garden, the rough tree fern and the soft tree fern. How do I tell the difference in the 2? Let me show you. Here we have a rough tree fern and a smooth tree fern. Now the smooth tree fern has all these hairs on the base of it. The hairs are actually the root system of the tree. On the rough tree fern, you have all these rough spikes. So the difference is, a soft tree fern has its root system at the top of the tree. And by the way, they're not actually trees. There's no wood in the tree fern. They're not trees. Sorry to tell you that. The rough tree fern has its root system in the ground. So why is it so difficult when you want to relocate these ferns? Well, the rough tree fern, you have to dig it out from the root. That means, in a lot of cases, you need an excavator. Most of us don't have an excavator. So unless you dig a pit 1/2 meter to 1 meter down and the same around the tree, manage to actually remove the tree safely, dig another big hole, whack it in the ground, you're probably not going to win. So when it comes to rough tree ferns, just chop it down or leave it in place. Soft tree fern, with its root system being at the top, you can actually cut the tree fern there or down here, wherever you'd like, dig a hole, whack it in. Bob's your uncle. Something I like to do with the fronzes. Fronzes. I'm forever collecting fronzes in my garden because I have so many tree ferns. Break them up. Throw them on your pathways. There's a substance in the fronds that prevents weeds coming up, and they provide a nice mulch layer along your paths. You could also put them through a mulcher and then spread them along your pathways. Spread them under your tree ferns, they like that. But don't spread it and use it as a normal mulch because nothing will grow in it. Now let's go and have a look at a soft tree fern in my garden that's come down. I'm not happy with its location, so I'm wanting to relocate it to another position, and there might be a little bit of a twist to what I actually do with it. This is one here that fell a couple of years ago, and you see it's turning. But the one we want is here. So why am I relocating this fern? Well, as you can see, this is the root structure. And just up in here, there is a stormwater drain. And all the water flows down through here. And now it's obviously been too soft and the tree has fallen over. Well, the head of this tree fern is massive. It has at least 4 crowns. Gonna have to change my plans on where I wanted to relocate it to. Dig a hole, drag it down next to the creek, plonk her in. %100% positive, that soft tree fern will grow. That's a nice spot for it there. So there you have it, transplanting a tree fern with a twist. I hope you enjoyed it.